Professor Walgrave, the term populism is used frequently, but it is often misunderstood. What is your definition of populism?
I think populism it's a political style. It's a way to speak about politics. So it's not an ideology, it's not a plan about how society should look, but it's more a way of talking about politics. It's a strategy to position yourself close to the people. So it's kind of displaying connectedness to the people. That is populism in its most strict form. And then there are two dimensions. So there is a kind of anti-establishment vertical dimension in populism, and then there is a horizontal dimension. While talking about the people and positioning yourself close to the people, you can exclude some segments of the people. So it's a matter of the people as a homogeneous unit against some outsiders who don't really belong to the people. So it's talking about the people, and then a vertical exclusion strategy, the elites, and a horizontal exclusion strategy, which is segments of the people who don't belong.
In your seminar, you described several studies in which you tried to establish a quantifiable relationship between populism and the media. What were the most interesting findings these studies uncovered?
I think there are two aspects that are important. Populism it's a matter of frame, it's a matter of discourse, and media use sometimes a populist frame. Media position themselves with the people against the elites, and there are several examples in several countries in which you show that journalists take sides and they use a kind of anti-political discourse and anti-elite discourse. For example, a study comparing 7 countries in Europe clearly showed that in the opinion pages of newspapers, journalists, or at least editors, selected pieces that really position themselves against the elites, that clearly are populist. On the other hand, there is also there are populist right-wing parties who own certain issues, and there is a quantifiable link between coverage of issues that are favored and owned by populist right-wing parties on the one hand, and the success of those parties in the ballot box. So the more the media write about populist issues or issues owned by populist parties, the stronger those parties come out of the elections.
In the end, what is the relationship between the media and populist parties, and why is this relationship important?
Well, there clearly is a relationship, but I don't think it's that straightforward as is often said. So the media are often accused of being populist and using a populist discourse. If you really analyze this, there is of course a link, but the success of populism is not only caused by the media is just amplifying things that are already present in society. For example, if you take a look at the success of right-wing populist parties, probably first they are successful and then they get coverage, and then they highlight the fact that traditional politics or government policies is not taking care of certain issues, and so the attention for populist parties is probably more in the media, is probably more a consequence of the success of these parties than the cause. Of course, they amplify the result, they make the increase stronger, but it's definitely not the ultimate cause of success of populism.